Alright. Salutations! I'm Jesco, and this is Game Dev Made Easy. Let me know how the audio sounds. I do have the chat app up. There we go. So, what am I going to be doing today with my game? I'm thinking I will try to design a test level so that way I can get some mechanics working the way I want them to. I want to make sure that the camera works. The game is loading. So I want to make sure that the camera works in different scenarios. Now I have two cameras in my game, a top-down and a side view. So I figure by kind of designing a test level around that concept, I should be able to see exactly how far away things should be spaced so that way you can actually see the level, as well as how narrow things need to be in order to be within the camera's projection range. Oh, let's go ahead and open in Visual Studio. There we go. And then, yeah, let's launch the editor. Let's first make sure that any of the code I added last night that didn't work, because I made some mistakes, are gone. There we go. And then let's build. There we go. It succeeded, so now I can launch the editor. Alright, I see the JDS logo. Press any button. What are you talking about? Alright, and I need to make sure I have Discord open, just in case anyone decides they want to join in the fun. Let me just check to make sure the platforms are streaming as they are supposed to be. And Trovo. Alright, so I should be live. So let me go to my channel. Mute. Okay, good. Trovo, I should be live. Huh. It says I am offline on Trovo. Why? Unable to connect. I have no idea why Trovo's failing. Twitch. Yeah, Twitch. Huh. And it looks like... Crap, what's her name? I see her on YouTube a lot. Sweet Anita is streaming. Looks like I am streaming. Alright. Just wanted to make sure all of those are correct. Objects. Let's do this. Let's create a new folder. Temp assets. And basically what I'm going to do is what's the name of that website? Turbo Squid, I believe? Yes. Okay. So let me just log into my Turbo Squid. There we go. Let's look for some assets that we can use for temporary assets, that is. Let's take a look at city. Price, free. I specifically said free, yet it's showing me something that costs 155 bucks. Ooh. Let's see. Question is, do I want to use this? Provided. You know what? Let's try it. So, City OBJ, material. Extract to City OBJ. Also extract materials. And I'm just going to throw that on the desktop. Right there. My voice is low. Properties. There is a compressor filter. That's fine. Let's swap that to be mono. All right, how's that? Is that better? Or do I have to bring the mic closer? No. ASMR, everyone. All right, how's that? Using people's assets while I'm here feels offended. Well, yes, but you're going to be making the actual. Really? Still kind of low? Oh, this is going to be kind of annoying. How's that? Is that better? I need. Where did my restream chat go? You, over here. There we go. Alrighty then. Alright, let's see if we can't find a few more models. Just so we have a few. Ooh. A few different things there. Oh, you're talking because I don't have a mic. True. Soon, TM. You know what? Let's look at that one. Anything else? Kind of want an interior. That way I can do some testing with that as well. So we have interior and exterior. So let's find building interior. That's a villa. Those are stairs. Kind of need more than just stairs. Some more stairs that look like something I would make. Is there anything that I could possibly use that's already pre-built? Because I'd rather not have to try and design the interior of a building. Don't buy no shit from them. I'm not buying anything. I'm grabbing free. 3D floor plan. No. Apartment 5. I just want an interior. Something I can just test with. The problem with modular is that still requires me to have some sort of artistic sense. Which, let's be honest, I don't have. Let's see. Something that doesn't look like absolute garbage or costs money. And as soon as I say or costs money, it of course shows me something that costs money. Ugh. Come on, you got something? Something? I guess I could. No, I'm not doing that one. I'm not spending $100 on a. Bruh, it's Legos blocks. Like I said, some sort of garbage official. Sorry, I just saw you posted. Turbo Squid is nice. Have you seen Sketchfab? Yes. Unfortunately, every time I've used Sketchfab, I've always had to load it up in Blender and then convert it. And the King Frudrick has spoken in the Discord. Oh yeah, I should probably be like, Frud, I haven't fixed that yet. Which one? Which one's a nice interior? A small shower room? I don't know if that's going to be enough space. I mean the one on YouTube. Or wait, are you live streaming or what? I'm confused. Yes, I'm live streaming. How the hell is that interior? Why the hell is a corpse showing up as interior? Oh, that's funny. Alright, something. Alright, next thing I see that's free that doesn't look like crap, we're just gonna grab it. Chinese food restaurant. You know what? Fuck it. Let's see. Interior scene of a Chinese room buffet. IES portal light, real world scale, optimized textures. You know what? Let's do it. The RAR, and then let's grab the FBX. Now I just gotta hope that when I bring this in, because Worms lives inside it. You know what? You know what? Fuck it. Let's try this one too. Do see an FBX. I probably don't need the RAR. And my watch battery is dying. Let's grab this as well. FBX zip. Good. City Street. Let's grab this. And to be honest, I don't know. Where the fuck did it go? What was the name of that one again? Megalopolis? I guess. Here? The only thing I don't really like about Turbo Squid is it makes it a royal pain in the ass to find what you're looking for that you want to download. Especially if you've accidentally downloaded something before. Then you just have to scroll and scroll and scroll until you find it. Wait, is this showing everything? Yes. Okay. Fine. There it is. Show all. There's the FBX. You need to chill. Never. All right, all these downloaded? Yes, okay. So let's clear that. Let's close that. And then let's grab everything. That should be everything. All right, cool. Extract the FBX. There you go. We'll trash that. Extract. I see. Did I do this one? I don't think so. That's a hot wallpaper over there. Didn't know that you did art. I don't. This was provided to me by a very awesome 3D artist who happens to be in the live stream watching. Gee, I wonder who that could be. God damn it. All right. Road set. Then city, OBJ. And then textures. There. So now we've got all of these. You were the one that made them. Alright, so now we can pull up the editor. And this is going to be the fun part. New folder. Rename city. Fine. Import. Material city. Oh, fuck me. I forgot. It hates OBJ. Alright. We'll skip that one for now. Import. So yeah, how's everyone's Saturday or Sunday going so far? Mine was very lackadaisical. I felt very, very lackluster all morning. Kind of just wanted to sleep. Might as well try interacting with the chat while I'm actually waiting for it to actually import. What just happened there? Alright, do scene, import. Good here, just started on a quick FPS project, struggling with AI. And of course, Jay, yes, I do sleep, surprisingly enough. When it comes to AI, you have several different ways you can handle it. You can do the dumb, simple solution, which is typically what I would prefer to do. Okay. And the whole reason for that is, are these just textures? Is that it? Okay, so there are OBJ files. I have to convert those to FBX. Alright. OBJ format is a pain in my ass. Alright, so the leisure and game one should work. Import. So, as I was saying with the AI, start with small steps. Like, try to get just the AI to just move randomly. Then from there, you could then say do nav mesh components. every engine has some form of it. With Unity, they have a nav mesh, which basically allows you to designate what's walkable and what's not for AI. And Unreal Engine, basically the same thing. CryEngine, it's a little more advanced than that, but still follows that general idea. They just separate it out into several different components that you can use, as well as use XML to define how you want the AI to work. I guess this is an OBJ one too. Damn it. Alright, we'll work with these. So, open level example. And what we're going to do here is we're just going to get rid of everything. There. So now we have this very random terrain. And then supposedly I can just drag and drop, and it should have everything for collisions already working. But we will see in a moment. Let me change the position. Position. No, let's just drop that the way it was. Actually, let's change that scale. Let's make it a 5 by 5 by 5. There we go. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is, because the engine is prone to crashing on me when I do crazy shit, I'm just going to create an empty object there. I'm in Unity. Today's goal is patrol points and finding and following the player. Finding and following the player, pretty easy with Unity, especially with C#. Basically, there is a function in Transform called Transform Look At. And you can use that to kind of turn the object to be facing whatever you want. So if it's the player, then if the player's going around in a circle around that object, it should turn and follow. As for going to the player, you can just do transform.forward, transform, whatever you want there. Vector3.forward. And because it's constantly turning, then it's going to always go towards the player. Patrol points, you're basically just setting what's the term for it? They're basically points of interest for the AI itself. So if you create, say, a visibility range, then if it doesn't see the player, then it's just going to follow along that path. If it does, then the path will be superseded by the new path, which is the player, which would then be a new point, patrol point. Not too complicated to do. What was I doing here? Oh, yeah. Entity 2, add component, and we're going to add the player. Let's save that. Fun fact, if I were to just press the play button, the perspective of the camera would be very wrong. So watch what happens. It's right there. Now, the reason that's happening is because I haven't actually refreshed the scripts. So it just threw everything all at once with no care about the order. So if I go to reload all scripts, notice that the boxes actually changed for that. So now if I press play, it actually loads in the proper positions. So now what I'm going to do is I just want to see if I actually have proper collisions. And the answer is no. This is one of the things that irritates me with the engine. Sometimes it just doesn't like to do proper collisions. So, what I'm going to have to do here is, well, fuck. Because this is a brush, I don't think it's going to let me add physics. Let's see what happens if I do temp assets. And then I'm just going to call this city. There, it's saved as a CDF. So I'm going to delete this one. Drag this one on. Okay. Oh. Of course. Welcome to the world of development where things go bad. It crashed. Alright. So if it wants to play like this, then I have a solution. I'm just going to use default shapes. And that should work just fine. Only one way to find out. I stand corrected. Alrighty then. Objects, shapes. Let's just make sure the collisions work. We're just going to bring it a little closer to the player. That would be a no. Save CGF. Cube. Save. Okay. Go away. Static mesh. There it is. Alright. Has a rigid body. And of course. Welcome to the world that you never thought existed, and you have to be a soldier to be enlisted. Yeah. This is one of the most annoying aspects of the engine. Getting collisions to fucking work. It should be working just fine. No. My player already has collisions on it, and if I were to use the original level, it would have collided just fine. It's just when adding new objects, sometimes it doesn't like to collide. So what I'm going to do here is I'm also going to throw on a box collider here, even though it really shouldn't need it, since it has a rigid body on it. Let me take a look here. So that's a little high, so let me just change that transform a little bit. Right there, and then down. There. Now, there we go. I shouldn't need to do that. It should have already come with it, but, you know, we'll survive. Now, I can just duplicate this and try to create something. Let's rename this to be cube. And we'll rename this to be player. Let's create a new layer and call it level crap. And the cube can go there. And we'll set this as our active layer. There. Now I can duplicate. Boom. Let's duplicate again. Duplicate. Thank you. So I need to see how high the roof needs to be, how wide the room needs to be for the top-down and side view cameras. So let's take a look here. So it looks like it needs to be 2 more to be above the camera. So we'll do that. Duplicate. And one more time duplicating just so there's nothing floating. Boom. Now, yeah, there we go. I should probably change their density though. So we'll just go ahead and select all except for the player. Their density is, you know, let's change that mass to 100. Perfect. Now the player cannot knock them down. Alright. I should probably also move the player. There we go. We'll start him up there. Good. Should probably add lights at some point. Yeah, let's go ahead and add lights. New layer. Lights. Set as the active layer. There we go. And we'll call this light source. Add component, lights. It's a light from its origin into all directions. Yes, that's what we want. And then let's raise it. Let's see how that looks. That's not emitting shit. There we go. Now it is, kind of. Alright. I'm going to turn that off. Now I'm going to duplicate it. Duplicate. Throw it there. Duplicate again. Let's throw it there. It works. Hello, Darth Malrak. Or which language are you scripting with? My game is 100% C++. Normally it would be C#, but since I'm not using Unity for this game, it is being done in CryEngine. I am using C++. Kind of want to... specular 1. There we go. Attenuation bulb. Sorry about that. If that's the case, we need to turn down that diffuse multiplier. Let's take it to 20, I think. Yeah, that works. It's good to see people using CryEngine. Yeah, it's actually a great engine. Yes, there are things that are a royal pain in the ass with it, but at the same time, that's actually the thing I like about working with different game engines. I like things to be a little more complex to learn, but then once you know it, you're good to go. I also like when something forces you to be outside of your comfort zone, which is something CryEngine does very nicely. I need to select all these cubes. You know what? We're just going to duplicate all those. We're going to set it side there, and then we're going to rotate it. Rotation 90. Okay, rotation 90. Or not. Rotate, you bastard. Are you serious right now? Of course, it's rotating the end. You gotta be shitting me right now. Okay. I just want to rotate this entire group. There. Don't judge me. What the fuck? You know what? I'm going to do it the easy way. I'm just going to take one of these cubes, duplicate it. Duplicate, thank you. And then I'm just going to make it bigger. 10. That's too much. 5. 3. Oh, locked. No wonder. No, this will be 2. Let's actually find out the size that we need. Looks to be probably around 4. Perfect. And then on the X, it'll probably also be 4. 6. Nope. Looks like a... seven. Yep, 7. Alright, cool. He has a fetish. What are you talking about, a fetish? You mean a fetish for masochism and working with game engines? Okay, yeah, that's accurate. Not gonna lie, that's fairly accurate. Alright. Now let's rotate this one. Wrong axis. Wrong axis. There we go. There we go. A god fetish. I don't know about that. A lot of people like to say I'm super great at being a game developer, but to be honest, it's just I do a lot of study, practice, and then talk about it. And fail a lot. Here we go. Deselect those two. Delete. Duplicate. Put it right back in its spot. Move it over. There. Then we'll do the same thing with that. You know what? Good enough for government. What the fuck just... Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. That's still funny. All right. Gotta make sure they're not overlapping. There, now it should be fine. You know what? You think you gonna fly around like that? I think not. You're static. What? That shouldn't be happening. Alright, fine. Fine. Just gonna do it the easier way. Where's your scale? We'll just make it longer. And then bring it close. You know what I forgot to do? Forgot to turn off snapping the grid. Because we want them to be close but not overlap. There we go. That should be fine. Oh. Might actually help if I turned off static. There we go. Yeah. Oh. That's right. Got to be careful about collision or rotation. Because if their material isn't set to be two-sided, then you get junk like that. Which is cool in some instances when you're working. Why am I'm watching horror right now? Shut up, Jay. Why am I using rigid body? This is for physics interactions in the editor. There. Really? What are you colliding with? I have no idea why that's going... I have no idea why that one's just flying off. It's like it's going, I need to be with my people. Good day. Alright. Anyways. So I need to take into account camera position, because as we can see with walls, let's say he's right up against the wall looking outside. So needs to have something there for actual gameplay. So let's see here. Designer, no, not designer. Area. Yeah. Let's see. Where the hell is the cloud volume? Effects, fog volume. There you go. Let's take a look at how that looks. Change it to gray. I said change it to gray. Okay, whatever. Use global fog. Change that density a bit. Active. Let's make it a box. You know what? That can go away. This fog is kind of acting more like a light source than a fog. I'll have to look in the documentation for that. What else can I do? See, I'm thinking maybe I could go with something like the Silent Hill effect, where if it's not directly in your purview, it's kind of hidden. I'm overqualified. What, for the CryEngine docs? Yeah, I'm gonna have to say that's a no. And again, I could probably. Well, the rain effect is kind of cool. Let's change that mist amount a bit. Maybe rain. Would definitely work for the outside portion of the game. It's like when you're running around outside. So that's something for me to take a note of. What's the water ripple? I see nothing with that. Okay. Let me see here. I guess I can go with the particle emitter. Is there... Oh yeah, I have to create a particle. New asset, particles. Test. Oh yeah, visual scripting. Definitely not overqualified though. Especially when I'm live streaming and having other people watch what I do. I've never been really good at doing that. So let's see. Falling smoke. Let's try that one. select this guy. Let's select the test effect. Not quite the way I want it. Might need to actually bring it up. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I've used the particle editor before. It's mostly just tweaking that you have to do afterwards. So I can bring this up. Sorry. But maybe, just maybe, this will kind of produce that hiding effect I want. Or it can move completely far away. Alright. Duplicate. You were supposed to duplicate. Thank you. Alright, now let's see how this looks in game. It's a little too far away. So we'll take these. And we'll just drag them a little bit closer. And a little over. Alright, let's see how that looks. And they need to go down. A little further down. There we go. Drag it over some. Alright, that should produce the results I kind of want. Still not quite there, but getting closer. There we go. Oh yeah, I know that. I'm just setting the position for them. It's just a basic particle test. But that does do exactly what I want it to do, which is kind of hide the outside portion of the inside of the building. So that's going to be really cool to do in the actual game. And then I could say have some of the enemy AI outside banging on the wall or something like that, doing something to kind of make the world look a little more alive. So you can't quite make out what they are and what they're doing, but that would make it a little more interesting for the player. I feel like it feels like the building is in a freezer. Well, obviously it's going to be changed to actually look like smoke. I'm just not going to dick around with the particle editor in great detail to do that right now. Alright. So we know that... let me half this. That would be 3.5. I'm going to duplicate that. Duplicate, not save. Hello? CryEngine. It's not sleepy time. It's not bedtime. Wake up. Man, I wish we can work on the same level in real time. There kind of is a way to do it. I think I just crashed the engine. But that's why I'm running it through the code anyways. It's a lot easier to what I mean by kind of is there are two ways to do it. One would be both people sharing the same project and then working on the separate sections, and the other person can watch what the other is doing and constantly updating their editors to match. The other way would be for using something like Teams or any other software similar to that, where you can take control of the other person's mouse and screen. Alright. Duplicate. Thank you. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy this. Oh, duplicate. And then boom. Rotate tool. There we go. Duplicate. Yeah, fine, whatever. We'll just do that. Next up, I need to create an empty entity right about there. Let's duplicate it. Put it right before it. This one is going to be top-down change component. This one is going to be side view camera change. Let's save. Now, the reason why I'm doing both of these triggers in this particular fashion is taking into account player moving backwards. So think of the old Resident Evil games where you can move to a certain position and then the camera will change on you. And then if you move back, you'll switch back to the old camera. Same concept here. So, when I go through here, boom, where did this... And then you get to that pretty much the same point and it swaps back. So now we need to figure out where the hell... Oh, okay. So I gotta take these two. What the shit? Apparently those are the box colliders? Possibly. Alright, so now if we go through the doorway here, which direction is it facing? Call the police, that gun is holding a man. Okay, so something's off with that camera angle. I'm just not quite sure. Will you stop flying away like that? Oh my god, that is hysterical. That is what we call a possessed object. No kidding. Holy shit, that was hilarious. Okay, so let me rotate this. Not that. Do 90. Right. Now we'll duplicate it and we'll put it there. Okay, why are they invisible? Oh, they just fly off, apparently. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're just going to make these 4 guys static. Just because I don't give a shit. I want to see them. There we go. And we can see that the camera is actually going through these other 2, which could make for an interesting effect depending on what you're actually doing. Alright. Let's make these static as well because, Jesus Christ. Something ain't adding up. Guns holding dudes, flying walls. This is why I typically don't do level design, because random shit always happens when I do it. It's the funniest thing in the world, don't get me wrong. And I'm never really mad when it happens. Alright, so let's pull this back some. And we know we can pull this forward. So right about there. Damn it. There. And now let's see if we're actually going to be culling through that backside, and it doesn't look like it. Alright, good to know. But that's definitely the idea I'm kind of having with the game, is all throughout the design, there's going to be those triggers for whether it's going to be top down or side view. And the reason for that is just because it adds a little bit more nuance to the gameplay, so to speak, where it's not so mundane. Especially if, say, you end up having a chase sequence. Well, it's not so scary when when you can see the enemy and how far they actually are away, and what you can do to kind of get them to be caught up on something. But if all of a sudden you're running and you're going down the corridor and it switches to side view, so you can't see exactly where every enemy is, then it raises that tension just that little bit. Now, I do actually have a run mechanic implemented. It doesn't really look like it's running, but you can definitely see that speed change. Not UE4. Definitely not, Jason. I think you, of all people, know I don't really touch Unreal Engine. Not to say Unreal Engine's a bad engine or anything. Quite far from it. It's a very competent engine, very good. I'm just not a huge fan of visual scripting. And then when you look at the C++ side of things, there's still a lot that you have to do in the editor in order to make your C++ code work well. So, for example, when you're binding inputs or something, you have to go through the editor to do that. Not really my cup of tea. Whereas with CryEngine, I don't have to use the editor at all. It does make my life a little bit easier because I can visualize what's going on and actually see the distance for things and how I need them to be, but it's not an absolute requirement. I want one of these lights. Which one? I'll take that one. Duplicate. Let's put it there. I'm just going to drag that over there. I'm going to duplicate it and put it there. Now, the other thing I do have to do is kind of tweak. There's an XML for Keybinds in UE4 projects, I believe. There probably is. But most of the things I see when you're setting it up to work with an entity, you have to do it through the editor. The other thing I want to do here is where are these particles? Give me the particle, damn it! Oh, there they are. What am I selecting? Okay, duplicate. Let's bring it over there. And duplicate. Bring it over here. Duplicate. And then let's do one more right there. Let's thicken it up a little bit. There. Although kind of a waste of resources because you can't see it. Oh well. The other thing, need to turn this back on. Now, where? Trigger balance. That's what I want to see. Now, I used to be able to see those, or how big they were. Because the triggers aren't quite right. Is this some sort of paintball project? No. This is more of a kind of level design proof of concept on if I wanted to say have an indoor scene. How would I need to have everything spaced out for it to work with the camera? So, judging by this, I should have everything set up at the correct size. I'm going to also create a duplicate of this. I'm going to raise it. Then I'm going to rotate it. Yeah, no, not that axis. On the x-axis. 0.4. There we go. And this is static. Yes, it is. So I'm going to make that scale. Let's go with 10. And then 6. 8. There. So now, let's just check to see if this roof is properly distanced away. We're just going to throw that there. And yes, that's the perfect distance away, actually. It doesn't clip through the camera or anything, so must mean that it's sitting slightly above or directly inside. I'm not quite sure. I'm gonna actually make that. Let's see. Let's make it 20. That should cover the full distance. Nope. 28. There. Now it covers the full distance. Let's take a look. In game. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. And the light so that we can actually see. But coolio. Now you might be wondering why been thinking about bringing my character into CE from Anthem since it's officially end of life, no more updates. Wait, you actually bought Anthem? Alright, so we know the camera is roughly 9 units high? 9 or 10? There. It is actually possible to do the indoor scene without huge... I'd buy that. I ain't gonna lie. Jesus Christ, 800 hours? I looked at the gameplay and I was just like, it looks alright. Nothing too extravagant to me. And then, okay, I can close those down. So it didn't really pique my interest all that much. I was like, it's an EA game. It looks kind of cool. Or was it EA or BioWare? Doesn't really matter. They're both owned by the same company. But I looked at the gameplay. I was like, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Titanfall mixed with standard RPG stuff. Oh, it's an online only game? Do I really want that? So, I didn't think it was a bad game by any means. I did look at the reviews, and a lot of people were just shitting on it just to shit on it. But, let's be honest here. In the world of video games, people are going to shit on something just to join the bandwagon. So, I take those insults with a grain of salt. You guys play games? Yeah, a lot. And honestly, when it comes to replayable content or replayability, it's not the amount of content in a game that makes me go, oh, I want to play this game all the time. It's more, what's the word I'm looking for? How to describe what makes a game replayable for me. It depends on the game. Like, for instance, Mega Man X. While, yes, there were hidden items in there that you could find, which does increase replayability. But when I was younger, I had no idea about it. And I just replayed the game because I found it extremely fun. So, when looking at games for me and going, oh, I want to play this game, it's all about the fun factor to me. It's like, I like Tom Clancy's The Division 1 and 2. I own both of them. And I play them not because it's online only or anything like that, but because I have fun with them. And let's be honest, fun is subjective. Like, the words. Yeah. Well, I am using subjective language, let's be honest. When it comes to finding out what you like and not like, it's all subjective. And with this game I'm working on, which is going to be a comedy horror, it's taking aspects of classic horror that I absolutely loved and put it into my own game. So it is taking inspiration from uh, subjective works. Yeah. So I'm taking inspiration from classic horror movies and video games, as well as some more modern ones like Dead Rising. It's like just taking the piss out of it, making the story nonsensical but funny at the same time. And then also taking aspects from Lollipop Chainsaw. Did you see that quick movement port for CE on GitHub? Very well done. I have not. If you want to share the link, go for it. But I'm also taking inspiration from the Resident Evil series. So I do want that aspect of survival horror in there. But I'm not doing... Well, technically you could say that my cameras are fixed camera. Because it's either fixed side view or top down. The camera itself doesn't move, the player does. And that's where it gets a little bit murky. Because fixed camera angles typically mean that the camera is static and it does not follow the player, and instead switches with each trigger to the next camera that's positioned somewhere. But because the camera is technically attached to the player, the camera follows the player. But there's two main perspectives in the game. So that's where it kind of gets a little bit on the murky side for that. Let's see, what else do I want to do with this? Basically have the dimensions that Jay needs for actually creating the proper models. Yeah, by the way, Jay is like the main 3D artist for my game, and I appreciate the fuck out of what he does. Because I would not be able to make this stuff. It's like he does have some demo stuff for me to work with the level designs, but not really for interior scenes. Not yet, anyways. But he's making all the character models. He's making it so I can adjust the LOD levels depending on what system the player's working with. So my main job is just developing my game, but also developing the story, kind of figuring out how I want to handle certain things. Actually, we got two guys for that too. Yeah, Jay and Darkslay, or in my server, he's called Uncle Bagel. They're doing most of the modeling for me. Just because, as I've stated plenty of times, I am art retarded. I cannot create anything that's a visual art. Music, yeah, I can write that all day. It might take me a bit before I'm satisfied with the overall composition, but I can do that just fine. But 3D models, I've tried it. Nice, I want to see that J of yours. Talking about yourself in the third person, I see. But where was I going? I completely lost my train of thought there. What was I talking about? Damn it, Jay. See what you did? You made me lose my train of thought. I completely lost my train of thought on what I was saying. But yeah, I'm going to do a lot of particle effects. Going to take inspiration from... Oh, I'm totally blaming you. I'm going to take inspiration from the game Zombies Ate My Neighbors, which was released on the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. I actually owned the Super Nintendo version when I was a kid. And that was honestly a parody of the horror genre. So I am going to have aspects that you can definitely say was inspired by many horror games. And I'm going to wear those inspirations on my sleeves, just like I've said in the previous video. It's one thing to wear your inspiration on your sleeves. It's something completely different just to blindly copy. Which is why you see I have the two different camera styles. There's so many top-down shooter games that exist. There's plenty of side view games that exist. So I figured merging the two and then using the different perspectives tastefully should absolutely be a must for it. Let's see. So, in terms of taking inspiration from Lollipop Chainsaw, I do want the creatures and everything to say random shit that is somewhat unsavory at times, but also at the same time, completely hilarious. It's like, in Lollipop Chainsaw, there are some female zombies that'll actually just randomly say, I want to fuck your father. And the first time I heard that, I fucking died. I was like, wait, did I actually hear that? So then I restarted the level and got to that point again, and she said it again. It was a kind of a cutscene for that one. But you'll randomly hear the zombies say that in actual gameplay as well. So I'm definitely taking inspiration from that. Taking inspiration from the Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes. Like Swinell. Yeah. I'm also going to take inspiration from the Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes, where there's definitely going to be some spooky atmosphere, where enemies themselves, when killed, they don't drop items. And also there's going to be enemies that are unkillable, and instead you have to run away from them. So there's actually going to be specific areas where you would actually pick up ammo. So that's going to be kind of fun to do. I'm thinking about whether or not I want those ammo caches, so to speak, to give random amounts of ammo or specific amounts. Wow, I wasn't even doing anything. My ultimate goal is a Fear remake in CryEngine. Oh, that would be beautiful. Fear was an excellent game. No two ways about that. Although their AI system is... You might want to check the orcs from Middle-earth. They have some funny lines. Oh. Interesting. I'll definitely look into that too. I have the whole series. When you say Middle Earth, are you talking about Lord of the Rings Middle Earth or a different series? And as for Fear, I also have the whole series as well. But if you look at the write ups that they did on the AI system they used in Fear, the AI system was written in a. It's like a combination between decision tree and also what's the other style of AI that they're doing now? Shadow War Mordor. Yeah, I have those. I haven't played them yet though. But yeah, I'm definitely going to take a lot of inspiration from games like those. Having those little quips that random enemies could possibly say at any given point would just be phenomenal. Especially considering the whole story is kind of nonsensical to begin with. And they're not exactly actual zombies. But yeah, when it comes to AI, I haven't even thought about which style of AI I want to do. Because that is such a dense topic, really. It's like you have like 5 different styles of AI that you could do. I'm thinking what I'll probably end up doing is kind of doing 2 different types of AI. And there's going to be an overarching decision tree that determines which style of AI that is going to select to use for an enemy that spawned. It's like with my standard quote unquote zombies, there's going to be 3 different types of zombies. There's going to be the ones that stand still and do absolutely nothing but look at you. I'm going to have the slow moving zombies that, or actually there's probably going to be like 4 or 5 to be honest. The slow moving ones that just walk randomly, and if you happen to be directly in their path, then they'll try to get you. There's going to be the fast ones. With that mic of yours, I can get back into sound design and get you fresh samples for the game. Cool. Yeah. The mic I'm giving you isn't the current one I'm using, but it functions similarly, just not as high quality or as expensive as this one. I think that was a $50 mic. This is a $100 mic. Yeah, that was like 50 or 60 bucks for that mic. I'm going to have the fast zombies that try to chase you down. And then smart slow zombies that can pick up weapons and stuff like that. And then smart fast zombies that can pick up weapons. So about 5 different zombie types. And that's not including all the other types of creatures that I'm going to have in the game. But I know I'm going to have an overarching decision tree that will determine at runtime which enemy gets which type of AI. And the whole reason for that is it adds a little bit more dynamic fun to the game. So while I could make it so that it's static and each enemy gets a specific one, that doesn't really add to the replayability. And it also doesn't have that slight element of randomness that more experienced players would enjoy. It's like it's not like one of those elements of randomness where it can become unfair. It's like it's going to be a balanced decision tree where it's not just going to pick something at random. Yeah, it should be able to clean up noise pretty nicely. Hell, even if it doesn't, depending on which audio software you use, it should be able to clean up the noise rather well. But you might notice that when I'm actually playing, I'm not firing any bullets. That's because I actually don't have the actual weapon classes enabled in this build right now. And that's because I need to rewrite it. The original way I wrote it did not take into account for an inventory system. Although I'm going to need one because I am taking inspiration from the original, or I should say taking inspiration from Zombies Ate My Neighbors, where I have 2 small inventories where you can hold, where it has your different weapons in one, and then in the other one it's going to have your different, well, the first one's going to have your different weapons and their ammo counts for it. And then the second one's going to be secondary items, like healing items and stuff like that. There's not really going to be an inventory screen. It's just going to be when you're playing the game, you can just switch on the fly. There's no need to go into an inventory. There's no need to, or an inventory menu. So it'll have like this fast switching mechanic in there. Same thing for the items. I like more simplistic designs that way, because while yes, the Resident Evil series has a great inventory system, I'm just not a huge fan of doing that in my own game. Just because it kind of slows down the game when you just pull up the inventory and you inspect something and all of that jazz. Not really conducive to constantly keeping the flow of the game. That's because the man is not reloaded. Reload the man. I don't have to reload the man. There's no weapons. See, if we look at the source code, there is no weapon class. Or my different weapon classes. Yeah, I have the bullets and the ammo implemented, but Rust, now that is an inventory system. Yes and no. My problem is that most inventory systems in games interrupt the flow of the overall gameplay experience. So, let's say we're playing Rust. You have to pull up the inventory menu. Hell, even playing Minecraft. You have to pull up the inventory menu, swap between what you want, put them into your quick items menu, and then go and do whatever you need to do. Yeah. While I'm not a personal fan of Minecraft, I can appreciate the game itself. Now, I did like that they had the actual inventory and then the quick inventory. But again, let's say you run out of items in your quick inventory. That means you have to go into your main inventory, which means you have to go to a box somewhere to pick out what you want, and then put them into your quick inventory. While that can work, at the same time, I'm looking at it from the perspective of you can still walk and run with Rust doing inventory tasks. Yes, same thing with Project Zomboid, I believe is what it's called. Steam, where are you? Like Outriders, ew. Let me load up Steam real quick. Games. I want to say it's Zomboid. Zombie. So this game, when you pull up the... Yes, I have. With this game, when you pull up the inventory, everything is still happening in the game world. There is no pausing of the game world when you pull up the inventory. So that adds a level of strategy to the game, but at the same time, it still interrupts the flow of the game. Because not only do you have to be like, oh, I'm perfectly safe right now to be able to go into my inventory, but let's say in those instances where you're like, oh shit, I need to heal or something, and pull out your inventory to heal. Well, now you're constantly keeping track of where the enemies are in relation to you, and if you're in the inventory too long, they can attack you and kill you, thus killing the character and making you basically start from scratch again. Whereas mine, it's just going to be, okay, press a button, flip to the next item in the menu. It's like there is no pause the game. There is no keeping reference to where enemies are in relation to you while having the inventory menu up. Because it's just a quick little button press and you can swap to the next item in the list. Originally made for Switch, then realized it was a device for kids. Fun fact, Zombie was... It is actually a pretty old game. I want to say it was originally on the Wii. Yeah, there was Zombie and then Zombie U. I want to say. Developer Straight Right. Publisher Ubisoft. So, Ubisoft Zombie. Let's see, when was it originally released? Yeah, it was initially released in 2012. And it looks like it was originally released on the Wii U. Oh, it looks to be... Oh, okay, so Zombie was originally released in 1986 for the Commodore 64, the ZX Spectrum, Atari ST, DOS, IBM Personal Computer, and Amiga. So then they remade it as a first-person survival horror game for the Wii U and then released it on Steam, PS4, and all those consoles. But yeah, it's... But when it comes to taking inspiration from these sorts of games, you just kind of have to go, well, how do I want things to function? Do I want it to be a blatant ripoff, or can I make innovations? Things like that. So I'm doing the innovation by having a very, very simplistic inventory system. Makes it easier to see what you have, what you don't have, easy to swap between them. Things like that. Just by a button press. So no menu UI for it, so to speak. Remake Road and Track presents The Need for Speed. Okay, thanks. Not me. When it comes to driving games and driving mechanics, I doubt I could do those sorts of mechanics any justice. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Take my money. Well, if you want one that's not super great, fine. But it's definitely not my specialty. Like, I've actually tried making racing game prototypes and everything, and they just never turned out well. Like, I never really accounted for vehicle turning properly and tweaking it, getting the traction right, things like that. There's so many small things that go into it that you just end up forgetting. And then it just screws up the overall game. But yeah, let's see. I have some good documentation for what I need to do now with the game. Would like to see a car template in CryEngine at some point. It's the only template missing. Well, there isn't really a boat template either. I wasn't here but heard animation. Did I say animation? I don't think I said animation. Car template, boat template, plane templates don't exist as far as I'm aware. I mean, yeah, you can go in the game SDK and find some of that, but nothing really in depth that's just catered specifically to those mechanics. Although we could probably talk to Moose King because he is working on a boat style game. But yeah, we could probably talk to him and get him to make a template for that. Or I can just take a look at his code and then recreate my own. Yeah. So now, alright, so it's 5 o'clock my time, and I haven't finished editing for this game plugin video to be released. So I need to finish that off and then have that video out. I said it should be released today, or it will be released today, so I need to finish off that editing and then have it uploaded before midnight. So I have exactly, let's see, 7 hours ish. And knowing me, after this stream, I'm probably going to be like, oh, I'm going to go make some food. You'd love to see me editing? I actually did a stream where I was editing a video. But, tell you what. I guess I can stream tomorrow the entire process of me working on a video concept. Complete with recording the audio, editing, and all that jazz. Why not? Because the tutorial after the game plugin one is building a basic character. Fairly easy and straightforward. We don't really have anything brand new with that if you've used CryEngine in any capacity. It's just working based off of how I have my game plugin set up. Yes, I know you need the list. I haven't finished it. Plus, you already have one character that you need to finish off or work on. And then you have that toaster animation to fix. And we might also change that one up a little bit and use that in the game, because why the fuck not? I would love to see toast flying out of a toaster and hitting a zombie and killing it. Yeah, you had it so that the toast wasn't far enough into the toaster. And then you have that one character that we discussed, that Nemesis knockoff that you needed to make. And then you had to do the basic intro animation for the CryEngine can handle about 300,000 particles at once in my testing. About the only tutorial I could ever make. Well, the other issue is that how to crash the editor, part 1 of 56. Sounds about right. The other thing I've noticed is that a lot of people, they use the game plugin that ships with the engine. Mine is actually a minimalist one, or it just makes it so that you can register your C++ functions and it'll work just fine. You notice that there's no reference to the player class at all in my game plugin. See? No reference to it whatsoever. And then I do have another tutorial in the pipeline that has a special guest that's going to be in that video. And that's for building a main menu. Now, that special guest is not a game developer, but instead it's more of a gamer talking about what he feels is a good main menu, what makes it pop to him, so to speak, and things like that. Ooh, SOS. Yeah, so I actually wanted to get a speedrunner to try and join in on that video, but I haven't gotten a reply from any of them yet. I even offered to pay them to be in it, and I've gotten no response, so that kind of breaks my heart a little bit. Add expensive skins. Bastards love it. I could make a tutorial on that, but personally, I'm not a fan of that. S and I are next to each other. S and I are next to each other. So, iOS? Oh God. I am not doing a iOS or macOS tutorial with CryEngine. No. Absolutely not. SNL. Oh, so you meant to type LOL instead of SOS. Oh, okay. At one point, I was actually going to buy a Dvorak keyboard. Then I never got around to it. That was when I was like between 12 and 15. When I was really big into Linux and also odd keyboard layouts. But never got it around to it, and then ended up not actually using it. Yeah. Yes, Fonfon. What do you want? What, is it dinner time for you? It took me 3 months to learn typing again. Gee, I wonder why. Yeah, I just use the standard layout. But yeah, let me go ahead and get this dog fed. And then finish off this editing process. Try to get this video out within the next few hours. So that way I don't renege on me saying that the video would be released today. All right. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream now, and I will see you guys later.